I'm going to teach you how to find and pick out the wines that are maybe $100 taste-wise.
Yeah.
But price-wise, it's way undervalued, and people might get that misconstrued.
I love that sound.
I'll be fine, just a drink in my wine.
Any of you motherfuckers that don't drink wine, fuck you start tonight.
It's time for coffee and Cabernet. The best way to start and end your day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Cabernet, the best way to start and end your day. My guest for today, hold on, I gotta build up the anticipation. This is a guy that you'll see casually rubbing elbows with some of the biggest stars in the music industry, with athletes. He's the man behind the beats and the head of the music mecca of Miami, Circle House Studios. Give it up for Abebe Lewis, everybody. Abebe.
I'm here, man. Thank you, Danny, once again for having me on
sir.
your show. It's very innovative. Coffee and Cabernet. It's a good concept. I never heard about the two mixing like that, man. You know?
Right. But am I wrong though? Like, isn't it some of the best days? They start with coffee, and they end with some good wine, man.
That's so true, man.
So that's what we're here to do. Today's episode is gonna be centric around our wines. I got some good selections for you, man.
Definitely, I'm ready.
I hope you're excited. All right, let's roll out our first wine. We're starting off with a 19 Crimes Cali Rosé. Rosé. To which I gotta tell you, I know that you're a fan of Riesling.
Yes.
They say that the Rosé is the red equivalent of the Riesling. So I'm treating you nice here. Not only that, you got Snoop Dogg on the front of the bottle.
I've been seeing that. Wine.
From a marketing perspective, like that already to me is insane. With this wine, you're looking at it's fruity flavors, raspberry, strawberry, cherry.
I like that.
It's nice. It's refreshing. It's Miami. It's hot. So let's toast.
Toast, my brother. Toast. See, Danny teaching me the wine etiquette. Show me the glass, the wine.
All right. So first thing you want to do is, hold it by the stem.
Hold it by the stem. Okay.
Give it like a little swirl.
Let me swirl.
Why not?
Yeah.
Fruity.
Yes.
Fruity. Here.
Cheers, my brother.
Cheers.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. Went down very well. Crisp.
Circle House Studios.
Yes.
You dub it the music mecca of Miami.
Yes.
You hear it, podcast, in rap lyrics, all that stuff. Where do you think it ranks? And I know you would know this better than I would. Where does it rank in terms of some of the bigger studios in the country? Because I gotta say, it's arguably probably one of the biggest on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Where would you say it ranks?
You know, I'm a little biased.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say top 5. You know what I'm saying? Because every studio has a different ambiance to it, right? Just like every wine or every coffee or every restaurant, So, when you come there, it's like you come in there for a certain vibe, you come in there for a certain thing. Then you go to other studios, it's probably on the same level or as good, but just it creates a different mode. It creates a different mood. Just like different wines, I'm sure. If I was to sit down and sip this all day, the next day go red, then I'll be like, the different wines puts me in a different moods.
I like that you mentioned ambiance because I think it says a lot to an experience.
Yes.
And I think when we're talking about wine tasting, it's equal parts the product and the experience, and I gotta imagine the same thing happens with music. You might, I don't know, I mean, I've been there before. You took us on a tour once. Maybe there's not a lot of whole EDM going around there, but I do feel it's some soulful, real, lyrical stuff. I mean, obviously, the proof is in the freaking pudding, right? We'll talk about that in a second. For those of us that don't know, tell us a little bit about how that came about. How'd you become the person that runs one of the biggest music studios in the country?
It just happened, man. Because before that studio, my dad had another studio that was located in Hollywood, where originally 2 Live Crew came and dancer artists called Super Cat and all that other stuff. So because my dad always was into saying man, I'm working on so many projects at one time. If I go book some time, I'm gonna kill me. So let's have our own studio so we can take our time and work on a lot of these projects. You know what I'm saying? And take our time with a lot of these projects, even the way they're recorded. Because the first studio he was on reel to reel. You know what I'm saying? That was 24 track analog tape. You know what I'm saying? 1/4-inch tape. Wow. Now you're into like the Pro Tools and you're into all these other digital type of things. So seeing the transition from that to this is really, really big. It's definitely a different sound. Back then it was like a fatter, thicker sound. Now it's like, it's a looser, you know what I'm saying, airy type. You still got the body, but man, if you hear some of those old tapes, like, you know, you listen to like a Bad Boys or you listen to like Bob Marley, you hear, you know what I'm saying, like it's like taking up your entire car. The music was a little different sounding.
Because you have like that experience, and I figured like not a lot of people do. I would compare some of the stuff you're talking about, like the transitions in technology, to what I saw in radio studios.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of didn't get to see like the stuff that I would hear about, like the tape and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's kind of like you would compare it to how we hear music through vinyl?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
definitely. Because right there, when you go vinyl, you got the pink noise, So right there, that adds a whole different component to the sound of the actual vinyl, to the actual music production. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain way you listen to music, and it's just a certain thing with the ear, like, you know what I'm saying, a certain frequency. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to manipulate those frequencies, and you kind of know what sounds go well with high pitch to the low pitch. That's why people think it's just, I'm gonna get a beat machine and I'm gonna go make a beat. Yeah. I'm gonna do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand the manipulation of sound. That's why I always put forth the music engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always highlight the engineer, because he's the guy that's gonna work along with the dope producer to formulate, to get that sound quality, to get that key, to get that stuff sound amazing across the board. You know what I'm saying?
I, for one, I could appreciate that, because I just know sound engineers, you know, they kind of fly below the radar and stuff like that. You know, the artist is front and center. Yeah. Then you know, the producer, depending on who they are, like, they might be prolific, but you don't hear too much about the sound engineers. You actually take them into consideration.
I really do, because they are my superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Because the same way that someone's looking to work with a producer, they're looking to work with that engineer. The artist goes crazy over the producer, but the producer goes crazy over the engineer. Like, yo, you got this guy? Yo, you got Nigel, you got Jess, you got this guy, you got these guys available? I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got engineers that are like pitch perfect. You got engineers that are just a good vibe when you're doing a beat. You know what I'm saying? Because a good beat vibe person can help, you know, just the overall mechanics of the room just flows. And to make a hit, yeah, it could be a little drama, a little tension in the room, but when that vibe is flowing, man, you can make one song and change your life forever.
And there's definitely been a whole lot of that coming out of that studio.
Definitely.
I know that for sure. Yeah, I got to tell you like a quick funny story. Talking with you the first time. Yeah. I'll never forget it. I'm on the air, and I can't remember what Inner Circle song was playing. We were playing one of them, and I believe it was in the mix. So it was like our DJ that was playing the song. Yeah. And I get a phone call from the studio, and it's like, "Hey, this is Abebe Lewis." I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Abebe?" I'm thinking it's like a regular caller. Yeah. It's like, "Hey, man, how'd y'all get a hold of that song, bro?" And I'm just like, and it was coming. It was around a period where one of our DJs had just gotten flagged for playing Bruce Buffer, Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Yeah. And they fined the station $10K. Yeah. And I'm like in my second year or something like that. I was like, oh man, this is not going to be good and stuff. And I just remember having the whole conversation with you, getting to know you, like just off of that conversation, like, all right, like setting the bar in terms of like how important it is to just take into consideration the people behind the scenes, 100%. But then also like know what it is to be leading the front on and being the guy that needs to be the head of the studio, running the show, things of that nature. So I definitely wanted to throw that in there. That was intense.
It's all about, it's just knowing Miami and just knowing music and having people skills. A lot of people don't understand that people skills are number one, man. Mm-hmm. You gotta know how to vibe. Like, I've walked into places where I don't speak Spanish, but I know a couple little words.
Okay.
I can make it in and out and order my food and go and they laughing with me and having a good time and giving me the great experience that I have. So you just got to have the skills. You know what I'm saying? Because those skills can take you a long way in this entertainment business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this one was really good. Snoop, this is good.
You know what's cool? What they're doing, they have like this app. Oh man, I feel like you and I, from a marketing perspective, talk about apps all
100%.
Like just marketing, like tech all day. And the app lets you put your camera phone in front of the bottle.
Okay.
And the bottle like comes to life.
Wow.
So I'm gonna show you that later on and stuff, but it's cool because you actually hear like Snoop's like voiceover.
Oh wait.
Unless it's AI.
Yeah.
But it's like the bottle comes to life. He's like
Wow.
lipping the whole thing, and he's talking about like, you know, just promoting the product. I think it's fantastic.
I said a lot of people say D-Wade got his wines. A lot of different, artists got their wines and stuff like that.
Spoiler alert, we actually got some of that going on later on.
Okay.
Let's jump into our next wine. I think we're ready. This one is a Juggernaut Sonoma Coast Chardonnay.
Wow.
It's also from California. What I like about this wine is that it's fermented, like meaning the process to create the wine. Most of it, over 80%, is done traditionally, like traditional French oak barrels and stuff like that. What makes it unique is that the other percentage, like 15% or so, 14, is done in steel tanks.
Yeah.
So it's to create this entire like different complexity with the body of the wine. So as you swirl it, you're gonna get the aromas of lemon meringue pie. I don't know how they made that happen, but they did. As far as taste, we're talking about apple, pears, and vanilla beans.
Cheers again, my brother.
Little swirl there.
Very good. I'm not really like a Chardonnay person, but I can deal with this. I can deal with this.
Yeah. For me, it is the body. And that's what I'm kind of like getting used to as I'm drinking wines. I'm a red guy myself, but I do appreciate like a good long body with some nice tannins and things of that nature. Let me give you a little hack. Actually, no, I'm gonna hold off on the hack. Let me give you a little wine fact. I can't let it all out on one episode. The wines that we're sipping, we've chilled them to perfection.
Wow.
And I think that a lot of people like don't really know how to do that, or they say, well, you're not going to be able to accomplish that unless you have a cellar or things of that nature, or a wine fridge. And is actually, there's ways to do it if you just have a traditional fridge.
Yeah.
What you're trying to avoid is having the wine be too cold. See, if you put it in a fridge, it's gonna be too cold. It's too cold in there. I think typical refrigerators are chilling at under 40 degrees. The white wines that we're sipping today and the rosé have been chilled at 50 and 55 degrees.
Wow.
So you want to put it in the fridge. Let's be clear. You don't want to have it chilling on like, in a pantry or on a counter, anything like that. You want to put it in the fridge. But the trick is, before serving the wine, you want to have it out of the fridge about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. And then it kind of like brings it to that level where you want it to be.
Like, don't just take it out of the fridge.
Don't just take it out the fridge.
Okay.
Don't just take
I
it
like
out the
that.
fridge.
See, I'm learning. You're learning.
There
You're learning.
We've been talking about two things. We've been talking about Circle House. We've been talking about Abebe Lewis and how you got yourself started. I'm going to come at you first going back to the studio. Rubbing shoulders with all these folks. Some of the biggest hit songs coming out of your studio.
Yes.
Which was the most memorable song to you and why?
Well, I think the most memorable one is the Pharrell Happy,
That came out.
Yeah, it came out of Circle House. And
Wow.
Because, I've always been a big Pharrell fan. You know what I'm saying? And to actually get to see him, I didn't really see him do the beat and all that stuff, but just to know that he's there and, you walking around, like you said, you rubbing shoulders with him, and just for him to create that.
You remember the year?
So it's on Wikipedia, though. If you look on Wikipedia and you Google Happy, it says the year, where it was made and all that stuff like that. But it was just such a monumental record, because the other era was the Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry, be happy. So it's almost like it was reincarnated. You know what I'm saying?
Student of the game, bro. Damn, I'm taking it back.
The song, and the song is just such a good vibe song. Like, that's a song you could play a birthday party, a wedding, or at a kid's party. You could play it at Live on Sunday. You could play it anywhere.
I ask about the year because I feel that was probably like prime Pharrell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like prime Pharrell, like doing his thing, and it came out of that. Wow.
And it's Miami, man. That's like Miami vibe song.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying, because you could be mad at the world waking up in Miami, but then when you go outside and that sun hits you, bomb. You riding through, you seeing people going to the beach, you see the malls, you like, man, like you can be mad, but why? When I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just, you learn so much, you see so much, man. The food is amazing. All the cultures are here. We sipping wine, you know what I'm saying? We can't, there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the world, but at the same time, you got to be happy.
I love that. So I figured that might have been a tough call, just thinking about some of the other songs. Like, I remember, and I didn't know this until you said it, but like Lauryn Hill, making music like there.
Definitely. I met Carlos Santana when he came to the studio to connect with her, and he did a thing called X Factor, and he was just, Mr. Santana was just so humble, played his guitar, got a little guitar amp, because some people, they're very, very fussy with their music, their type of amp, and, he was like, yo, this is a good amp, sounds good. I'm like, okay, plug it in, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it was no, like, stress, and he just
a cool dude.
like, 2 takes.
Just a cool dude.
2 takes, it was done, just like that.
And again, you're talking about X Factor. Well, in terms of like Lauryn Hill's had like an amazing career, like maybe a second act.
Yeah.
So like not so prime, but like still like a big deal in the music game at that time.
And when that album came out, that's when he got credits. If you look at the album, you'll see assistant engineer Abebe Lewis. You'll see a lot of credits that I have, like on Trick Daddy's first album with the Diaz brothers. I produced a couple records. You'll see a lot of the credits that I've done, but back in the days, it meant everything when they opened the booklet, right? There's no more booklet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh my God, I know what you're talking about.
To the Spotify, there's no more like when you go buy the CD and you open the CD and it's page 1, they tell you who the engineer was, the recording studio, where it was recorded, who mixed it, who mastered it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Spotify got credits. I got to look, but I think that's like for Spotify Premium. But back in the days, you remember the CD, it had all the credits. And a guy like me, that's how I learned the business. I was like, oh man, I love this sound of this song. I would look at the engineer, I would look at the producer who arranged strings, like with the violins, and oh man, he's an amazing string arranger. I want to use him for this. But now you got to kind of dig deep, and there's nothing wrong with it because you got things like YouTube you can still do your research on and stuff like that. But it was just different with that booklet. You know what I'm saying? I also got to be in the studio a couple times when Lauryn was recording. You know what I'm saying? She recorded a song called You Can Get the Money, You Can Get the Power, and Keep Your Eyes On. Like a song she kind of like rapped. And I was like on the couch as the assistant engineer, and a guy named Commissioner Gordon was the engineer, because Rohan Marley was the guy who kind of, brought Lauryn to our studio and made that connection right there, which is a great friend of mine. But I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So I was there, I was the helper in the room, patching the microphone, set up the microphone and doing all that stuff. But it was amazing seeing her, because that song she rapped, she didn't sing.
Right.
So I was like, yo, this is, you know what I'm saying? This was like amazing, and you didn't really understand what was gonna happen 10 years from now. Right. With the music, but you just learned a lot. You learned to be quiet in the room as the assistant. You learned to just pick up on things. You learned to like, oh, she's about to be done. Let me get some water. Let me get certain things prepared. Even though she doesn't drink the water, let me have it here just in case I can be one step ahead of everything. So she'd want me in the room every time, or that client or that producer would want me around every time.
I love that because it speaks to the evolution of Abebe Lewis, the man.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about like you're in it and experiencing raw talent as it's happening.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what's gonna happen 10 years like down the road.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, for you, going through those motions, at what point did it become clear to you that you've arrived, that you're Abebe Lewis, the marketing guru?
I always say this funny story, like when I was a kid, like just, assisting engineering, and I'd be like, people would walk in the room and be like, yo, I'm gonna pick up the phone, I'm gonna call Clive Davis. This guy would be like, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna call this person or that person. And I would say to myself, like, yo, like, how does this person know all these people? You know what I'm saying? But it's just timing. When I got to a certain age group and I started seeing the kids and the people that I came up with get bigger positions, and being able to pick up the phone and just call Atlantic Records, head of A&R, call Interscope, call all these labels. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But those are the guys that I came up with. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, have your good networking skills. Keep people close to you. Because that's when I felt like, I didn't feel like I made it, but I felt like, okay, now I can utilize these connections that I have to now keep it moving. But now it was so much stuff happening. Social media was just starting. It was MySpace, and like, you know what I'm saying? It was like a whole, right now they're in cruise control a little bit. This generation, because they know the platforms. It's just Tipper. I was there before Instagram. I was there before a lot of those different things where you had to actually go to every club and give out flyers. You had to stay in the front. You had to wait for the DJ.
The mixtapes out the trunk.
The mixtapes. You had to sit there and, like, if you knew the DJ got there, the doors open at 10. The DJ would get there at 8. You would get there at 8. Hey, you want a drink? You hungry? You try to cater to the DJ, because that was before the influencer actually came involved, and different things. The DJ was everything. Radio was everything. Now it's a lot of different choices. You got the podcasting, which we're doing right now. You got Sirius satellite radio. You got so many other stations on the app to listen to. You can be in Miami, listen to San Diego radio all day. You don't gotta, it's just so many choices.
The way you're talking about it has me thinking about something that I heard from a mentor of mine a long time ago.
Yeah.
He said, like, there's a difference between sight and vision.
Mm-hmm.
Sight is something that, like, like you're currently within, like, grasp of it. You see it, you're working towards it, whatever the case may be. But vision, you mentioned, like, the evolution of social media, and something, like, clicked for you, like, I gotta jump on this. It speaks a lot to what you're doing now, because you be dropping gems on your social media all the time. Real quick, we're gonna do it at the end of the episode, but let them know where they can follow you.
Follow me at Abebe Lewis. Right there in my my bio is my link tree. It has everything in my link tree. My YouTube page, my Facebook, my Instagram. I do a 15-minute free consultation with people just to hear what they got going on. Because sometimes when you meet people, they got more stuff going on than me. You know what I'm saying? Or they showing me something where I could do better, or putting me in a better position. But I open myself up for networking. If I don't do it, I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you got a song that came out. You're singing it in English, then you sing it in Spanish, then you sing it in Creole, then you sing it in another language. Now you got 5 songs. You know what I'm saying? So instead of getting 2 streams a day, now you're getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 streams a day, because you have the song in different languages. You know what I'm saying? It's just that understanding of the game and strategy. You know what I'm saying? And it's so many different ways to work things nowadays,
Going to strategy and talking about your social media, one of the gems that you dropped was you mentioned how in 2024 and moving forward is gonna kind of, like, steer away from streaming platforms, more about social media.
For artists, because the influencer, now I heard somebody get upset, but the rapper is a content creator now. Before, they wasn't saying, like, I'm a rapper. No, you're a rapper, content creator, YouTuber. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of your money is going to come from YouTube. A lot of your money is going to come from social media. It may not actually come from Spotify. You know what I'm saying? It may come from Shopify. It may come from other type of platforms. And the streaming is just utilized so people hear your music, and, you stay relevant, you stay hot, but you're selling everything else.
I love that. A whole lot of gems on his social media. Let's jump into our next one.
Definitely. You're going to get tipsy.
So we've been talking Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do this. Our next wine is a Cabernet by, if we're talking Miami, why not? By Mr. Dwayne Wade.
Oh, man.
D.
Wade.
So 3 by Wade Cellars Cabernet. We're going to give it a little swirl. On the nose, the aromas is black plum, black berries, with dried rose petals. I picture that with.
Oh, man.
I picture that with. Fine tannins. So we're expecting some acidity here. It's coming from Cali. So we're keeping it to the West Coast.
Definitely.
And the structure and the body balance, which I love when we're talking about Cabernet. So cheers.
Definitely. Shout out to Mr. Wade Sr. too. D. Wade's father, my dog. Delicious. Very delicious. I'm not a red guy, but it's good.
I actually got something for that. So I was telling you earlier that I have a hack for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel what happens with the reds is people come off thinking it's something that you don't chill.
Yeah.
And the truth is that if you ever seen a wine fridge, you'll see like there's 2 different dials, 2 different meters for 2 different temperatures. That's because you're supposed to have whites chilled at a certain temp and reds chilled at a certain temp. So rather than having your reds sit on a counter or sit in a pantry, room temp, because it's a little too hot. Again, we're in Miami. Ideally, this is the hack for the next time you're hosting a little something, or maybe you got somebody coming through the studio and they like the wine.
Yeah.
You want to chill the red wine for 25, 30 minutes. Put it in the fridge right before it's ready to serve.
Yeah.
And it's going to get it to that 60 to 65 degrees to where red wine is supposed to be chilled at.
Definitely.
So this is what we were aiming for. This is what we were trying to do so that you could kind of like get the best structure out of it. Because if it's too hot, you're going to get it syrupy. It's not going to taste fresh. And people, that's why they kind of like steer away from the red wine.
Yeah, I see the difference with the temperature, like you're saying. The wines, all 3 wines have tasted better with the proper temperature. And I can see what you see. I'm learning. Now that's some game right there when it comes to wine.
There you go. That's the whole point of this show. Now maybe, just maybe, I've been a little bit biased about this.
Yeah.
Because if you notice up until this point, and I decided to change it with our last wine, we're going to get to that. But every wine that we've had up until this point has been West Coast, California. Who better than to ask you? And it might not be as relevant by the time this airs, but it's definitely relevant now. We're coming off of probably one of the craziest weekends in rap history.
Yes, sir.
Who won the great rap war? Who should have stepped up?
Yeah.
And from a marketing perspective, give me your thoughts, bro.
I watched a lot of things and seen a lot of things, but I seen something today that somebody put up and it says, who won the rap battle? You know who won the rap battle, guys? The record labels. The record labels won the rap battle. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when you look back at all the rap battles, like, you know what I'm saying? You had Nas and Jigga, good friends. I seen 50 and Fat Joe hugging at the Knicks game. You know what I'm saying? It all kind of reverts back towards, you know, good vibes at the end, but not while it's going on. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, who really won? People were doing numbers like they have never done numbers in a long time, because it sent everybody back to Spotify. It sent everybody back to Apple Music and YouTube. And I remember I heard Kendrick even didn't want his rights to the record, so the content creators could actually make money with when they were dancing to it and putting the songs out.
Awesome.
It was a game of rap, but it was also a game of strategy. And at the end of the day, we know they're both great artists, both great lyricists, and they're both great businessmen. You know what I'm saying? So the winners were the record label.
I love that. And I was hoping, I was wondering, I was like, damn, I want to see if he gets into it and tells me who he thinks.
Yeah.
100%. I would agree with you. I also think I've been having these conversations all week.
Yeah.
And some people are like Team Drake, some people are Team Kendrick.
Yeah.
And somebody said it best, I feel, and they said the people won.
Yeah.
The people won. And
Yeah,
I think good. And then you talked about like the content people behind the scenes that are making it happen too, like putting it out there. And it's evident.
Yeah, music won. Music
people,
won. Music, the people, the record labels.
Yeah.
That's who really won, because it got back to people having those conversations on the corner.
Uh-huh.
It got back to everybody. I don't care if you black, you white, you Spanish, you green, you white. You was Drake. You know what I'm saying? You was Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? You was Drake. Like you were vibing to those different things, because everybody has their one song that they listen to, even if they don't even listen to that language or listen to that thing. It has that one, you know, record from each one of those guys that they love.
You mentioned some of the older beefs.
Mm-hmm.
Things have definitely changed. It's much more now about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more now is like, how do we serve the people?
Mm-hmm.
They definitely freaking did that. It makes me think about like, probably like, did you ever have a favorite rap beef back in the day?
I like Jay-Z and Nas. That was really good. That was good because those beats was crazy. Like Ether was crazy, and all those different, the beats was, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, you had Summer Jam, and then Jay-Z went on Summer Jam, and like it was to me, it was different back then. You know what I'm saying? To now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not dissing now, but I'm just saying it was just different.
It was different.
It was just different.
It's definitely
you know
different.
what I'm saying? It was really, really, really different. So
You mentioned them, and I think let's be thankful for those times.
Yeah.
Because I think that they were maybe not even 10 years removed
yeah,
from the West Coast East Coast beef.
yeah,
Which, if anything, we talk about rap battles and rap wars, like that was probably like they were the martyr. They became martyrs of
Yeah.
like, hey, like this could get a little too crazy,
Too crazy.
a little too intense.
Yeah.
You gotta love it, and I'm sure that was a crazy time. I was like way too young for that. Seeing it now, for me, marketing wise, I loved like how some people started to piggyback off of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, I'm Miami raised. I'm like, oh man, Ross is gonna get in this. Ross is gonna get in this. Okay, let's go. And we're talking about like riding that wave. Artists, labels, you got to get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there. Another thing I'll say from a marketing perspective, like Metro Boomin coming out with the beat.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that? Like, I'm gonna throw a free beat, just rap over this beat. I thought that was crazy for somebody so big as him.
Everybody was coming out with great ideas and great things, and all it really did was like increase everybody's bookings, and it showed their minds. It showed how smart each and every one of them were, because they all smart. Future's a genius. Metro Boomin is a genius. Ross is 100% a genius. Drake and his team, genius. Kendrick, genius. It just shows you the thinking capacity that these artists have, that just so critical. So being able to Drake putting a song on his damn Instagram and it just spreading like that. Mm-hmm. That shows you the power of the platform. He didn't put it on Spotify right away. He put it on Instagram. And from Instagram, it went to millions.
That's why I bring up that jab a little earlier. I was saying like, yo, like social media platforms are gonna be the new wave. As opposed to like the streaming, the traditional
Yeah, he
stuff.
put it on Instagram. And from Instagram, everyone grabbed it, then rolled with it. Look how close to the fan the people can get to be able to get their music and get it out there. That's why, you know what I'm saying, if you know what you're doing with social media, you know what you're doing with content, you know what you're doing with podcasting, it's really nothing can stop you. You just got to be strategic. You can't just be doing stupid stuff. Do stupid stuff to have a result. Make the stupid stuff equal to selling hoodies, to selling music, to something.
That is my shameless plug-in moment where I gotta let you guys know that if you come to Miami Media School, you have an opportunity to get some direction, build a strategy, have some structure to your stuff, as opposed to just hitting record and just going.
Yeah.
So Miami Media School, shout out to them.
Facts.
All right, let's jump into our next wine.
Definitely.
do it.
This was good though.
Yeah.
D-Wade, shout out to you, Mr.
Shout
D-Wade,
out to
sir.
D-Wade.
Miami legend. This was delicious. Shout out to Lenny, man. The excellent pourer. I see him. He's pouring. What's that? He's pouring it into then the glass.
Oh, okay. So with the wine tasting, you want to have. I actually took him. I took him to go to a proper wine tasting. And he's like, "Yo, this is my first time doing this, man. You're treating me nice and stuff." I thought I'm just used to drinking stuff out the bottle. I was like, "I got you, bro. I got you." And during the wine tasting, it was clear.
Yeah.
You want to have your pours between 2 and 3 ounces, so that he's pouring it into that. It's giving it a little bit of aroma too, like airing it out. I should say he's airing it out to avoid any oxidation and things of that nature. So we're going through a whole process. Don Miguel Gascon Malbec, vintage 2022, 90 points from a Mr. James Suckling.
Okay.
So that's like the guy. We're talking about wine that's the guy. He's rating at 90 points to, if I'm not mistaken, to him that's a A-.
Okay. A-.
So it's a good wine. And I haven't been doing this up until this point. This is like one of our early episodes. This wine is under $15.
Wow.
But the rating, you got to pay attention to it. And one of the things that he talks about is that, look, man, like, I'm going to teach you how to find and pick out the wines that are maybe $100 taste-wise.
Yeah.
but price wise it's way undervalued, and people might get that misconstrued.
100%.
Same way, like you're expecting, all right, I'm gonna pay something premium for this, and it might not actually come across the way you thought that it would.
Yeah.
So that's a guy that like lives, breathes, and like dies by his wine.
Yeah.
Rating this at 90 points. Blackberry aromas again, mocha. So with dark fruit flavors going on here. We got a little bit of licorice and chocolate.
Wow.
Full body Malbec.
Can't wait.
Cheers.
You heard the cling. Very good. Very good. This is you did good on these selections, my brother.
Fresh,
you did.
I knew you were coming.
Yeah. I didn't taste no bitterness, not in one of those wines. Everything is like, I could drink them like water, but, you know, Danny trying to get me a little too, you know what I'm saying?
We're having a good time. We're having a good time.
Great time. Time.
We've been talking about all things marketing, and record labels and artists figuring out ways to like do their thing. You've had the experience that a lot of people don't get to go on and have. You've seen artists come and go.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, for the youngins, the up and coming, what have you seen that has been a downfall for artists in their career?
The same person you see on the way up, you're going to see on the way down. And they're going to remember how you treated them. You know, I got people that interned in my office that are now vice presidents of A&R record labels.
That's dope.
I got people that are CFOs of companies. I got people that manage some of the biggest and hottest rappers right now. And it's the greatest thing to me now because I can pick up the phone and be like, oh, yes, BB, listen. You know what I'm saying? And because they know how I am.
Yeah.
But they know I mean well, and they know where they started and where a lot of them got their introduction to the game at. You know what I'm saying? Because it means a lot where you got your introduction.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Or who introduces you, or they see you around. Because one thing, other companies, when they see me working with somebody, they know the strain I'm going to put on that person. And they know what that person can take. And they kind of want that person because they know I don't play that. You know, and I'm gonna show you every facet of the business. As an engineer, if there's a problem in the room, I'm going to teach you how to smile. I'll be like, hey, I'll be right back. Not freak out. You know what I'm saying?
Personable skills.
Yeah. The person in the room wouldn't even know that there is a problem.
Wow.
As an A&R, I'm going to teach you how to deal with artists to get what you need out of them. I'm going to, without the manipulation aspect. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you how to be fair. I'm going to show you that it comes right back on you in the end. It's knowing people and treating people with respect. You know what I'm saying? In a certain manner, and not taking no disrespect either. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't take disrespect, because they'll respect you even more.
That's big.
The fact that you didn't take the disrespect. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some of my best people that work with me, it has started off with an argument. It has started off with a fight. It has started off with, you know what I'm saying?
Again, I go back to the funny story. Like you came across me like kind of crazy. Again, I'm on air, and the typical phone calls. Oh my god, and it was like, yo, like, what's up? Oh, your social media. Hey, you could be doing a little bit better with that. I was like, who is this guy? Until I got to know you, and I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
I don't mean bad, but I try to tell you in a way where it's going to benefit you if you do listen. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like to mask the stuff. I don't like to mask. I don't like to hide. I like to tell you what's going on in the marketplace. Or when I was in a younger space and I was coming up, these things were happening. It was more opportunity. It was more artists being broke. It was more record deals happening, more on the urban scene. You mentioned people skills, and it's I know you're no stranger to like radio stations and doing campaigns and things like that, and you're so right. There was an artist at the time, she's gonna remain nameless, but I'll never forget, she had like this hit record on the station, and it just had like this, like, you never really heard anything like that before. And it was, I don't even know where she was from. I think she was from Canada, actually. When we got to finally meet her, I remember having the conversation like off the air with the people on the morning show that I was with, and it was along the lines of like what's up with her manager, like what's going on. She showed up hoodie, like not what the video was portraying.
like super chill, nonchalant. She's new artist, and it was like kind of like she was shy.
Yeah.
And it was like you could evidence of coaching, evidence of like, yo, like you're very talented, but everybody could benefit from a mentor, could benefit from like understanding there's a learning experience.
Definitely.
Like lacking the people skills. Long story short, I think she had like one more hit record.
Yeah.
If that was it. Yeah. So you mentioned people skills, and I think that was a big one.
No, it's really big.
That was like a big one.
It's really, really big because you can leave the music space and go to the acting space. Leave the acting space and go to the behind the scenes directorial space.
Yeah.
But what you gotta have is those people skills, because every type of people skill you're gonna utilize it in different ways as your journey occurs. You know what I'm saying? As a director, you're gonna have to learn how to get the behind the scenes people moving. As an artist, it's the audience. So there's different ways that you let people into your world. You don't let people into your world, but understand at the same time it is a business. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people forget that it's called the music business. And so at the same time, you got to find a way to do all that, but still be profitable. And you're not in this game, and you're sitting there and you're like, what am I doing? I'm not even getting no checks. I'm not getting no money for what I do. No one's hiring me. I'm not around. And it's not even that too, because money could be money, but then you have sweat equity where you can learn things and take those things you learn and those connections you learn to make money.
To me, my translation to that, or my version of that, is you could be making money, right? Like royalties, whatever, like that, this, that, and the fifth, like fantastic. But if you're not leveraging the platform, if you're not figuring out different ways to like, okay, how do I capitalize on this moment?
100%.
Especially like you see with athletes all the time. Like with athletes are, okay, they're getting that big boy check.
Yeah.
But long term, you start hearing like, okay, like then how is it that 8 years in the NFL or 8 years or throughout your career, now all of a sudden you're broke?
Yeah.
Because you didn't leverage. While it was hot.
100%. Even like some of the WNBA, you got those girls with the smaller salaries, but they're signing $20 million shoe deals. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like utilizing, like I said, the music to now branch out into other businesses. You know what I'm saying? Which is like the music would be like basketball for the women's basketball. They got the shoes, they got the clothes, they got the athletic gear, they have the dietaries, the supplements, the vitamins. It's like, it's how you go about utilizing the strengths that you have to entrap people. Because that may be a strength, but that may not be your moneymaker. Your moneymaker may be something totally different.
Super off topic, but I just figured like it's worth mentioning because we're talking about like at the highest level, WNBA, or whether you're a musician, an artist, like doing your thing. And it's always a learning process and understanding that like there's multiple ways of getting it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people, mentioned that throughout his career, or as he was on the up and up, he understood, all right, like this is gonna take some time. I gotta learn this because this isn't my forte, but I'm willing to go through the motions. And he said even before he was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the like famous actor that we come to know, he was rich off of real estate.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
I watched it,
Yeah. On which it's a good segue. Abebe Lewis, as we're wrapping up, next steps, projects, upcoming stuff for you. Talk to me.
The documentary, the book space, the movie space. That's where I'm going next, because I got my story. I know a lot of stories. I know, my dad's story of Inner Circle. I know the story of Miami, the music industry story. I've been around and seen a lot of different knowledge and seen a lot of different people come. Like you said, a lot of people go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just figuring out what's next, and what's next is movies, man. Movies, documentaries, and books. That's really, really what's next for me.
Fantastic. Hey, give it up again for my guy Abebe Lewis.
Thank you.
One more time, let them know how they could keep up with you.
Just go on my Instagram at Abebe Lewis, and you can get all my information right there. And vibe with me. We can set up a free 15-minute consultation. You can see what I got going on. You can see who I consult for. If you got a concept, an idea, come get with me, man. I'm into the app game. I'm looking for new artists, but listen, a lot of you new artists gotta have a plan, and you gotta have some type of motion going on. I can't pick you up and just revive you. You gotta kind of like have a little bit of movement, and just, as some advice, keep good people around you. You know what I'm saying? If you keep good people around you, there's no way nothing can stop you.
Amen to that. I think this wine is kicking in.
Yeah, I see it.
If I'm not just me. I think he said a free 50-minute consultation.
15 minutes.
All right, man.
See, we're at the end of the thing now, so this is 4 glasses in, man.
50 if you came. Oh, I saw you on the Coffee and Cabernet podcast. We out.
Thank you for watching Coffee and Cabernet
With Danny Doe.
Make sure you subscribe and follow us at Coffee and Cabernet Podcast.